Hello, my impatience. Or to quote Tiny Tim, hello, my dear friends. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? All right, so I'm live and I'm ready to perform for all of you. I don't know what people typically do on Friday evenings, but you know, I guess we'll see if anybody's at my beck and call and joins. I'll start off by sharing the artwork I created yesterday because it was kind of interesting. And I think this first one that I'm going to share here expresses anxiety when it comes to women. So, you obviously see a cute woman here who I see in public, and I'm having a panic attack. And I'm like, oh my, a cute woman. I am so anxious I'm going to go comatose. I put on a blank expression because there's a cute woman beside me. Pretty self-explanatory what that means. It's actually, yeah, okay. So let's get some people in the house interacting. Okay, we got two people. So do people like me or do people, dislike me? Do I come across as a likable guy? Yes or no? Do I come across likable or dislikable? If you had to say, like, do you think I come? Tiptoe through the tulips in the garden by the fireside and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, all right. I'll share with you some photographs I took yesterday. Well, actually, yeah, I'll share with you some photographs I took yesterday. While we get some people joining here. This is me on my bed. This is me on my bed. On my bed. On my bed. All right. So, la 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 la. All right, guys. Maybe I should unban every. Oh, we got Horn Dog. He says, "Hey, Big Dog, how you doing, Horn Dog? How you doing? What's going on? What is going on, Horn Dog? It's Friday evening. You doing anything fun? What's on my mind? Not a whole lot. Doing anything fun this Friday?" Somebody says, "Have you been feeling down because people were criticizing?" No, not really. It's the dog video. Not really. I couldn't really care less. I'm a good dog owner. I love my dogs. No, I couldn't care less what people think. Really. Oh, Horn Dog says he's going to go to the bar and hopefully meet some cute ladies. I hope you succeed. I hope you succeed. I hope you succeed. I'm seeing a friend tomorrow. Yeah, I had a beer earlier today, but it's kind of worn off. I'm not gonna have a drink tonight. What kind of beer? I think I had a Bud Light. I had a Bud Light. Tiptoe through the tulips. Somebody says, "Have you ever been drunk?" I'm sure I have. Yeah, I definitely have. Oh. La 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 la. Okay, so Horndog wants to say, what do you think of John Cena's last match? When is it going to be? Isn't it going to be in December? I think they'll probably. Who should he wrestle? Ooh, that's a good question. Who do you think he should wrestle? I mean, somebody says he should probably put over a young and up and coming star. But then again, you want to give him a big match, with a legend too. So he says, I think CM Punk. I mean, I like CM Punk. Don't get me wrong, but I think his career is pretty much winding down. It should be somebody who could really use the rub. I mean, CM Punk certainly has the star power. The Rock, yeah, I mean, The Rock is a good way. I don't think The Rock's going to wrestle anymore, but or like Brock Lesnar, you could do Brock Lesnar. So he said, yeah, Cody or like Drew McIntyre, somebody like that. That's kind of what I was hoping But yeah, some people say maybe for his last match it should be a real banger, just like a dream matchup, with two major superstars, rather than putting over like Cody or Drew McIntyre. Mm-mm. Maybe it should be like Brock Lesnar or somebody like that. Choo choo. So he says, any luck with the ladies lately? Well, no, not really, which is disappointing. Uh, Horn Dog says, "I'm sorry to hear you haven't had much luck with the ladies. Yeah, it's not your fault, but I'm glad you're sympathetic. I'm glad you're sympathetic. How are things in the art class in NAMI? Well, I'm going to be seeing some friends from both of those places this weekend, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Oh. So he says, when is the last time you left Long Island? It's been a few years. Well, when was the last time I was in New York City? Well, I haven't. There was a guy who worked at the Fountain House who had me come to the Fountain House in Manhattan. That's probably the last time I've been in Manhattan. So that's definitely over a year ago, a year and a half ago. Um, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been out of Long Island. Oh. So he says, "What's the farthest you will drive?" Well, I drive up to my father's, which is on the North Shore of Long Island, New York. I don't take the Parkway to get to him. That's a pretty far drive. It's like an hour. So when you see the Casa de Papis, it's a long commute to get there. Tiptoe through the tulips in the blackness to the garden side. So he says, have you ever thought about getting a hobby? Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. So Jack says, the traffic on Long Island is half the battle, not just the distance. Yeah, it's there's definitely a lot of traffic on Long Island. That's for sure. Uh, la, la, la. I don't know, guys. Oh, horn dog. That's a good question. Horn dog says, when you go to the Chinese restaurant, why is everybody thinking about you? Yeah, no, nobody's thinking about me. They're all focused on getting their meals, but I project everybody can read my mind. I project that everybody, like my fears that people are perceiving me as a creep. I project into their minds, and I think it's because my parents, kind of could read. I don't know. No, somebody says, "Did you stare at the 18-year-old girl working there?" No, she was making me uncomfortable, and I didn't want the people around me to look at me in a critical way. But I was trying to put on a poker face and realize it's just anxiety and it's just projection. And there's there's no, it's kind of like when I see an Asian person or an African American person, and I start to shut down and I start to have a panic attack because I think people are looking at me in a critical way, like I'm a racist. Or it's kind of like when I see a cute woman who I'm attracted to and I shut down. Same kind of concept. Even though you hear, oh, it's the same. I'm projecting my fears into other people's minds, and I think they're looking at me critically. And it really stems from my parents, putting thoughts in my head, shaming me when it came to women, not allowing me to have secrets, and criticizing me, and that's really where it comes from. Do I? It's anxiety. It's afraid. It's a fear people are looking at me in a critical way. It's a fear of being judged critically. Um, and I feel like I communicate my thoughts with that. I feel like I'm so transparent, like I have no secrets, like I'm emotionally naked, like everybody can just kind of read me, and they can't. Nobody can read you. So try to put on just a blank expression. Try not to get uncomfortable when it comes to people, and get your food and get out of there. I think I behaved appropriately, but try. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, I think ultimately realize it's just anxiety. It's just projection, and nobody's looking at me critically. And even if they are, who gives a shit? Let's take the racist for example, because obviously pedophilia is bad. But let's take racism for example. Even if you are a racist, who gives a shit? Obviously, sort of. I'm more phobic of being a racist or a pedophile. I'm not. It's just a phobia. It's just like don't be so afraid. Who cares? People that are truly racists or gay or you know they just are. You know, I'm more like afraid everybody's looking at me critically. You know, I think no, I don't think people in Long Island are necessarily more critical. I just think my parents would put these shamed thoughts in my head. They wouldn't allow me to have secrets, and it's just I felt like I communicated my thoughts without saying a word when it came to my parents, and I feel like that's where this comes from. My parents. I'm not a horn dog asks, "Am I ashamed of my parents and family?" No, not really. Why would I be ashamed of my parents and family? I feel like they're ashamed of me. I don't know. I mean, am I ashamed of them? No. I feel like I'm the scapegoat that they're ashamed of. You know, I feel like they're ashamed of me, not the opposite. Right? You know. I guess what I need to do is I need to learn to comfortably lie. I need to learn to just put on a poker face, realize nobody can read my mind. I should just lie for the sake of lying because right now I feel like I'm just so transparent, exposed. Just go around lying to people. Say, "Oh, I'm an executive. I work in accounting." Just go around fucking lying to people. Why not, right? Somebody says, "You don't want to become a liar." That's true, but I am so polar opposite of a liar that it's just problematic. I'm honest to the point where it's problematic. I'm honest to a fault, you know? It's just it's like sometimes you have to just put on a poker face and lie, you know? It's like so I think I need to learn to just oh, maybe not lie. I mean, yeah, because liars, when they speak the truth, are not believed. But also, yeah, and you don't you and people won't know it's real if you start lying. Okay, but I think also I gotta just not feel so exposed, not feel so emotionally naked, not feel like everybody's reading my mind, not feel like everybody knows everything about me. I want to feel like I could just walk into a Chinese restaurant, sit there, and not be anxious, not project my thoughts into other people's minds, not feel like everybody can read my mind, and I just want to feel like I'm just blending in, flying under the radar. Nobody's focused on me. Nobody's trying to read my mind. Nobody's just that's what I want to feel. I believe what they said was this is I'm projecting my fears into other people's minds. So that's the first thing. My fears I'm projecting into other people's minds, meaning other people probably aren't thinking what I think they're thinking. Secondly, uh, nobody can read my mind. Nobody can read what's in my mind. These people they're going to get their like sweet and sour chicken and go home. Third, it's anxiety. I just want to run out of there, and I'm afraid everybody's looking at me in a critical way, and I'm shutting down. I just want to get out of there, and I just want to put my head in my hands, and it's extreme. It's extreme anxiety, really. It's extreme self consciousness. Rusty asks, "Are you under castellanation right now? What the hell is that? What is castellanation, Rusty?" Horndog says it's very bad to have these thoughts. Yeah. Hey Peter, how you doing? Happy Friday. What is that word? Let's Google that word. That word Castiganation. What is that word that Rusty said? Am I under harsh criticism, strong disapproval? No, I don't think so. Tiptoe through the tulips. So he says nobody's criticizing you, nobody's saying anything bad about you. So don't act like people are. Don't fear like people are criticizing you. I could see if I started staring at the 18-year-old lady licking my lips like this, like a creep, and was just, but I wasn't. I was just sitting there, you know, getting Chinese food. There was not, there was, if I did that, that would be creepy. Yes, but I wasn't. That's not what I was doing, and I was just afraid people were, looking at me critically when they weren't. That's basically what it was. Like if you lick your lips and you stare like a lizard, that people are going to look at you critically because you're behaving weird. Uh, so he says, yeah. I mean, I probably come across anxious, but I'm not coming across like I mean, somebody says you probably come across normal. Oh boy, it's lovely. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna try to lie down. So he says, no, I was trying to just put on a poker face and not look over at the 18-year-old. I was just trying to just stare at the other customers in the Chinese restaurant. And Rusty says we should have a Garfield and Friends watch party in the Discord. Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down. We should schedule that. That could be fun. That could be fun. And try not. Yeah, it was really stressful, and this isn't entirely. It's not just the 18-year-old, although the 18-year-old is a perfect example of this. Like for example, like there was a woman who came into my art class who was Asian, and I was just getting really uncomfortable because I was attracted to her, and I was shutting down and I was projecting my fears that people were looking at me like I was a racist into other people's minds, and I just wanted to hide. And same kind of concept, but only this one was an Asian woman that was making me uncomfortable rather than an 18-year-old woman. Does that make sense? Or here's another example. Gay, like I'll be around like a man, and this was more of an example of. So he says, do you think people can? I'm just afraid people can sense what I think. I'm trying to illustrate these panic attacks, thinking I'm emotionally naked, thinking people are reading my mind. I'm trying to illustrate to you, why I get these. I just want to hide. I don't want people reading my mind. Yeah. Obviously, when I was in college, it was gay. I was afraid people were looking at me critically because I was gay. What's another one? Yeah, I mean, the racist. The racist is one. People looking at you like you're a pedophile is one. People looking at you like you're gay is another. Um, yeah, there's other examples. So he says, "You're a gay, racist pedophile." I'm not. I'm not. It's anxiety. It's a panic attack. It's like thoughts that were put in my head that I'm not. It's a fear of being these things and projecting my fears into other people's minds, you know? And even if you are a racist and gay, who cares? You know, just be a racist and gay, you know? Be a gay racist, you know? Who cares, you know? Be a gay racist and be proud, you know? Yeah, it's more of a phobia of being this, you know? Mhm. Somebody says, "Have people ever said something to you?" Well, yeah, I think they have, and it was especially my parents and family. I remember my cousin; they had some kids, and they were playing Michael Jackson, and they were making pedophile references, and I think they were really referring to me, and they were criticizing me. And they were putting these fears and these thoughts in my head that I was, first off, like fucking seven. I mean, I could see if a woman's like 20 years old, okay, like but and even 20-year-olds, like if like that's probably too immature for me, and if you go after a woman who's not of age, you're going to be going to prison. I mean, it's just I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a racist. I'm not gay, and don't let other people shame me. Don't let other people make me feel phobic. Don't let other people put these thoughts in my head. You know, and I think another example, yeah. I don't like them young. I mean, if a woman who's 30 wants to date, I'm looking for a girlfriend. I don't date anybody. I've been like involuntarily celibate for my whole life. I haven't had hardly any romance. I've been like involuntarily celibate for my whole life. So he says, if anything, get somebody who's older or about your age, who's motherly and nurturing. Yeah. All right, I'm getting rid of this person. Yeah, he's gone. All right. All right, guys. Any last questions? I think I'm going to get going here. So he says, have you started lifting weights at the gym yet? Not really. So he says, do you think that woman Alice still follows you? I don't really. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I mean, she kind of blew her chance to date me. I mean, I went on a date with her. I gave her the time of day, and even if she does still follow me, she kind of ruined her opportunity. So sorry. If you approach that date in a better way, maybe we could have gone on a second date. She kind of ruined her opportunity to you know date me. So she did try to reach out to me afterwards, but after that experience, it's kind of hard to salvage. She would have it's kind of hard to fix things after that. I mean, it's possible, but All right, guys. I think I'm going to get going here. Any last questions for me? No. All right. Adios, guys. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.